Hey there everybody, today I want to talk to you about toxic positivity and why I think that you need more appropriate vibes only. Hey there everyone, my name's Dave, aka Mindset by Dave, and I've been a mindset, mental health and personal development coach for the last 4 years, helping people get unstuck with whatever is holding them back up here. As well as videos here on YouTube, I also stream live on twitch.tv/mindsetbydave every Tuesday at 10 AM till 4 PM and every Saturday at 7 PM till 10 PM. And on top of all that, there's a Discord server which should be linked around about there, which you can join to talk about any of those things as and when you please with myself and a community of like-minded individuals. Anywho, on with the content. Getting quite sassy with those things, aren't I? So toxic positivity is one of the big common phrases that is sweeping its way around the personal development industry right now and the mental health industry, and let's just face it, the internet as a whole. And it can do one of two things. It can separate people into the whole two camps thing, which we see on the internet all the time. So I want to start this video off with a definition of what is toxic positivity and also what it isn't. Because when we go into these two camps, the first thing we think is that the positivity side of things is, well, everything's always going to be positive 100% of the time, and the other camp becomes, I'm sick of all this positivity now, I don't want any of that. And once, as always, good old Dave here is looking for that nice big middle ground. So what is toxic positivity? Well, toxic positivity is not just all positivity. Not all positivity is toxic. Same as like toxic masculinity. Not all masculine things are toxic, you know. Toxic positivity is ultimately the suppression of anything that doesn't fall within the lines of positivity. So the most subtle version of this, which is often said with the nicest of intents, is positive vibes only. Okay, positive vibes only. Most of the time, that is being said in a way where it's saying, okay, right, well, we're just going to promote positivity and stuff over here, and that's what we're aiming for, right? Positive vibes appreciated would probably say that. Positive vibes hoped for, yeah, okay, that'd say that. Positive vibes only, however, has this sneaky little thing hidden in it, doesn't it? It has, well, any other vibes? No, not for you whatsoever. Okay, and that's kind of the problem. Often a person who needs more positivity in their life, well, they're not accepted to the club, are they? Because they're not ready to be positive all the time. Not that anybody is, but they're not ready to be positive all the time. But they need the positivity, but they're excluded from the club because their negative vibes are kind of killing the vibe, or, you know, killing the buzz. Other examples of it include whenever you express a negative emotion, a person tries to always tell you to think on the bright side. Again, not necessarily bad advice. However, it is often delivered in a context that is inappropriate. Context plays a really huge role in this, which makes it hard to make a video that is there for everyone, regardless of context, to come along and watch. But generally speaking, we are looking at if your feelings that don't quite fit into that small bandwidth of positivity, if they are invalidated, not welcomed in a space, that is toxic positivity. Now, the issue I have with toxic positivity is, like many phrases on the internet, people latch onto it and then again go into the opposite polarized version where they reject all things that are positive. The suggestion of looking at something on the positive side, the rejection of thinking about things in a positive manner, thinking about what's the best case scenario, by the way, is an amazingly good way to actually deal with anxiety. But if you're primed to thinking that all positivity is toxic, then you're going to reject that, even though it could be one of the most helpful things for you in that moment. As you'll often hear me say, I like to go for the middle, or when the world's trying to be blue and red, I like to be purple. And what that means in this instance is this: appropriate vibes only. I don't think of emotions as being positive or negative. Okay, we often would say that happiness is positive and sadness is negative, right? That's the way we'd look at it. However, I just think of them as to whether or not they are appropriate. Happiness is a tremendously appropriate emotion when we're at stand-up comedy, when we're having a good laugh about things. However, that same level of emotion at a funeral, when you go up and the wife of someone who's died is there mourning her husband, being that kind of happy, bouncing off the walls kind of person is possibly the most inappropriate thing that you can do for that person in that moment. Asking that person to be happy and trying to condemn their sadness, when they're mourning, that mourning is an extremely appropriate emotion at that exact time. Now, at the same time, if you were in a car accident and someone was to cause a bunch of damage to your car, at that moment, anger might not be the most useful emotion for you because it can stop us from having a clear head. But it's a tremendously appropriate emotion when something like that has just happened to you. Thinking about childhood trauma, a lot of people do get to the point of being grateful for it because it shaped the way that they are, but many other people don't and hold grudges against that. And that is perfectly appropriate too. It's not that you have to forgive the bad things that have happened to you. So actually holding on to that, it might not be the most helpful emotion for you, but it's perfectly appropriate. And toxic positivity would try and take all of these emotions away from you. Because it'd say, oh, you shouldn't mourn at the funeral, you shouldn't be angry at the person for slamming into your car, you shouldn't be upset about all the things that happened to you as a child. They've been and gone. Now, the most important thing in all of this is it's about other people's emotions. This is about telling other people how they should or shouldn't be. And that's ultimately the big no-no. Telling a person that they should be happy is a big no-no. Telling a person that they should be sad is a big no-no. It's not for us to tell other people how they should be to things. Not even me. And I'm a bloody mindset coach because so much of this toxic positivity comes from repressed emotions as a child. Our reactions as adults often come from things that we were told that we couldn't be like as a kid. For example, I was brought up by my dad with the whole big boys don't cry thing, and I tried to suppress crying for such a big portion of my life that when I finally did cry, it was just like an emotional waterfall coming forth. I know nowadays that if I actually say I feel like crying and my wife says, oh, don't cry, no, toxic positivity, just because she doesn't want to see me cry, then it makes me want to cry more. But if she actually turns around and says, okay, go on, cry then, and actually validates it, that usually actually takes the edge off it and makes that I don't want to cry. Our key when we are dealing with other people's emotions is to validate them. It's not to compare them against ours. It's not to say that the way that we react to things is the only way to react to things. It's to say that however you are reacting in that moment is an appropriate vibe for you and the things that you have been through. Do I want people to know that they have access to other reactions? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's not my actual job to drag them kicking and screaming down the path that I want them to go down. My job here is to show people that other paths and other options are available and say, do you want to try and take this one? Which one do you want to take? How do you want to handle this situation? And letting the other person be the author of their own fate. And this is what appropriate vibes only means for me. It means that whatever you are experiencing right now, however you show up right now, is okay with me. Do I want you to live at a higher state than that? Yeah, absolutely, because I want the best for you. I want you to enjoy your life more. However, I'm not going to tell you that is how you should live. Step one for me is always validation. You need to know that your emotions are valid and they are welcome here. And we're not going to tell you to be any different. And at the same time, offering positivity as an option is good. Offering positivity as the only option, we're creeping into the territory of toxic. So as always, I hope you have found this helpful, and if you have, please hit that subscribe button and maybe even the notifications bell. Remember, it is priceless to you, but it is priceless to me. As always, you can catch me on twitch.tv/mindsetbydave every Saturday evening from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. and every Tuesday daytime from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And there's the Discord for everything in between. As always, I would love to go a little bit deeper with you.